when in place, will create job opportunities. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have a candidate here also who has the advantage of age, Mr. Speaker. When I look through he's a very young man and very energetic, Mr. Speaker. I think this candidate meets the threshold of the youth of Baringo, Mr. Speaker, sir. And for that, Mr. Speaker, also we asked about one thing that I saw in him when he was asked about his achievement in life. Mr. Speaker, Felix talked about his joy when he was participating in drilling balls, and when there was that commodity, and when it was being commissioned and the people were taking the water. I mean, that simple way of expression that he participated in drilling and gave the people the opportunity to take the water. He said, that is my best achievement. I think, Mr. Speaker, that is a person that is down to earth, that resonates well with the people of Baringo. And Mr. Speaker, we can say that for the first time, we have a rare opportunity, Mr. Speaker, to groom leadership. Mr. Speaker, we've seen around this country, and we've seen governors of very tender age, and they have performed, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, with Felix here, we have that opportunity that we will have a young man who will serve this country, who will serve this county, who will be supporting the governor. And, Mr. Speaker, I want to tell this House that Felix also is a very, very skilled person. Mr. Speaker, in his, he did a course in mechatronics engineering. Mr. Speaker, when we inquired further, it is about gas exploration and all these things, Mr. Speaker. And we say now, Baringo is one area that is marked for exploration of gas and oil. And with Felix, we have an engineer in place, Mr. Speaker. So that, I think, for Baringo, we have been talking about revenue. And if we can explore these minerals, Mr. Speaker, Baringo will have wealth. Mr. Speaker, without saying much, I want to say that I have a lot of confidence that we have a candidate that fits the bill. Mr. Speaker, I want to urge members that we approve the name of Felix Kipng Mayo. Mr. Speaker, I support.
Thank you, Honorable Kibet. Honorable Fenalin Cherop.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I stand to support this motion on approval of nominee for appointment to the position of Deputy Governor. As a member of committee, I support him as our incoming Deputy Governor since he's a youth, first of all, and I'm also a youth, so I support him. I also go through the file of Felix, and he's a very educative man. He's someone that he will take Baringo far. He has good plans for Baringo. Also, I saw the courage in him. He's a supportive man. He will support our governor to deliver Baringo. Also, according to the questions we asked, he just answered and he exceeded our expectations. So he just proved us wrong that he is a good person to be our Deputy Governor, and I support the motion that we approve him as our Deputy Governor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Kakimon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I stand to support the appointment of the Deputy Governor, Felix Mayo. Mr. Speaker, sir, as a county, when we lost the governor that time, it was a big shock, Mr. Speaker, in this county. And we give the governor credit for appointing the son of the late governor, the deputy governor. Mr. Speaker, it has created that every leader in this country, and I attest during the burial of the deputy governor that time, that every person and every leader in this county, especially Rift Valley at large, they were for this young man to take that position. Mr. Speaker, we support the decision. One is after that task to be the deputy governor of this county. Mr. Speaker, it takes us back when the president of the Democratic Republic of Congo, Laurent Kabila, took over that country at the age of 30 years. So when this county gets a deputy governor of 34 years, we are seeing a young man who is energetic to help the governor to steer up the development of this county. So we support. It is also a big boost to the youths of this county. Mr. Speaker, when we have a deputy governor of 34 years, that is within the range of a young man, because a young youth is 18 years to 35 years. So he is within that bracket. So the youths of this county should emulate that young man to do more for the youths and do more for this county. Mr. Speaker, sir, I support that this young man will make this county make use of the resources we have. Baringo County is endowed with so many resources. We have the GDC. We have some products in Tiati, that the diatomites. We have the minerals here in Bogoria. And we have a number of minerals. So when we have professionals who have studied these resources, Mr. Speaker, I'm sure this county will make use of those professionals to make sure that the resources we have will help us in this county to get more revenue and also to create more factories to make those minerals work. Mr. Speaker, I support this young man, and we hope that this county will develop and take a good position, that we have a young man who can help our governor. I support, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Kipng, maybe after approval of Felix Mayo, you'll cease calling him a young man and be the deputy governor of Baringo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you for correcting me. But he's a young man, Mr. Speaker, according to my age. My age is almost 60, and it's a young man of 34. So I'm proud to call him because he will also feel that he's young to take this county forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Solomon Kuria.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I also join my colleague in rising to support the nomination of Mr. Felix Kipng to be the next Deputy Governor of Baringo County. Mr. Speaker, sir, when we lost the late DG, I happened to interact with the late DG the last week of his life. And I saw a very passionate man who wanted to revive the growth of pyrethrum, coffee, and beekeeping in this county. And Mr. Speaker, sir, when I saw maybe I may also use the young man, but when I saw the way you were interviewing Mr. Felix, I saw a spirit of the late DG, Mr. Felix. And I want to really say, and also applaud your work, Mr. Speaker, sir, through the able men and women of the Committee of Appointment for the work done. You did good. I was proud when I was seeing members asking questions, and Mr. Kiplagat was able to answer all the questions. When I look at the scorecard from this report, I can see the committee was able to award him 85% out of 100. And from his academic, from primary to secondary to university, Mr. Felix have been scoring B+ and above. And I can see, if I'm not wrong, the committee gave him 85 is an A. Or that's an A. So I want to say this is a brilliant young man that we need in Baringo County. Mr. Speaker, sir, since the demise of our former DG, the governor has been very busy. And I don't know whether it's me or even I share with the honorable members that sometimes you will call the governor on matter of importance as a honorable member and is not able to pick your call. Maybe it's the right time that we have a DG who will be closer to us and also be picking to our calls even at midnight. Because I don't think there is any member of this assembly can call you for a joke or for greetings at night. It's a matter of importance to our electorate. So I also want to request, Mr. Speaker, sir, that as we approve the nominee of Mr. Felix, that he be equal to the task, that he will be able to be close to these honorable members so that we can serve our people. And also request to fit into the shoes of the late dad. And especially on my ward, Mombiris Majmazuri, where the late DG visited on revival of Piretram. I'm looking forward to interact with His Excellency DG so that we can continue and keep the spirit of the late dad. So thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, and thank you for good job. And I want to once again congratulate the Committee on Appointment for the job well done. And also, looking forward, we can see you are equal to the task for the appointment of other posts. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Kuria. Ms. Keter.
I thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to give my remarks in support of the appointment of Felix Mayo as our Deputy Governor in Baringo County. I first want to congratulate the appointment committee for our work well done, and you did a very good job within a very short time, and you brought a very good report to this house. Congratulations for the good work you've done. Number two, I want to say that I followed through the entire interview online, and I was watching how Felix Mayo was answering to the questions that was being put to him by the committee. He answered in a way that he showed that he's confident and he understands that the task that is ahead of him and is equal to the task. I've gone through the report. Generally, I want to say that I'm quite impressed by this report. And what really caught my eye is how Mr. Mayo understands the issues and the challenges facing devolution. And one thing that he stated is he stated that there is a need of protection of the marginalized people. And marginalized to this end includes the young people, women, and people with disability. So I'm sorry, I'm really proud that he has recognized that as an issue, and I'm sure he's going to stand with the young people of this country, of this county. Another thing that was really impressed me about the interview and the report is the qualifications of Mr. Mayo. Mr. Mayo is a highly qualified young Kenyan citizen. And it's not only, and to me, he's given this position not because we feel like we are sympathetic of what really happened to the father. I'm really sorry that what happened, but he's also qualified for this position. And I am sure he's going to do a good job going forward.
And at this point, allow me to call upon Honorable Alex, the member of Kapropita Ward, followed by Honorable Jacob Chaboywa, the member for Kisanana Ward. What's the point of order?
You know, Mr. Speaker, today I tried to wear something which is brighter because I know I'm dark. But it is in vain. You are not noticing me. I think when I'm seated there, I want to be, my teeth to be out so that you can notice me. Actually, I'm a senior member of this House, Mr. Speaker. And another thing, Mr. Speaker, sir, those people who are from appointment committee, why should you give them, and it is their own baby? They come and debate here, they wrote those things,
Order,
you give them a priority.
Honorable Ngatia. You stood on a point of order. I expected you to state the order you are standing on, but they are circumvented. Let's proceed as I directed. Honorable Alex, then Honorable Chaboywa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you know, just before I proceed, you know, Honorable Ngotie is so dark. I'm sorry, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker,
Honorable Alex, Honorable Alex, can't restrict yourself to the debate. Can't restrict yourself to the motion. No. Honorable Alex, can't restrict yourself to the motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. But I was just looking at the environment that Mr. Honorable Ngotie is in, and it is like everywhere is grey. We are trying to see him, but he cannot be seen. Mr. Speaker, I was saying that just to defend you, because Honorable Ngotie was almost saying that you're not seeing him. But it is, I know, Honorable Speaker.
The Speaker does not need protection, Honorable Alex.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, from the onset, I wish to support this motion. Mr. Speaker, I followed keenly the vetting of the Deputy Governor, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I looked at him answering the questions, Mr. Speaker. All the questions that were put to him, Mr. Speaker, was answered exemplary well, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was looking at even the score that they scored him. And I feel like, Mr. Speaker, the Deputy Governor was underscored, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, initially I was following the vetting, Mr. Speaker, through my radio. I was in a place where network was not good, and I could not access the live coverage. Mr. Speaker, I even thought that maybe the Deputy Governor was reading whatever he was was answering the questions that was put to him, maybe reading from somewhere, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Speaker, when I came back, I realized that guy was organized and he was so prepared for the vetting, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, following whatever he said, Mr. Speaker, during the vetting, I'm so passionate about the issue of water, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, he had him talk about water at length. Mr. Speaker, my ward extends to the lower side of the valley, and we are having a lot of challenges when it comes to water, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I had him talk about drilling boreholes, and that is where our heart is, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we want to limit the distance. If we cannot make sure that all our homestead gets water, Mr. Speaker, we at least limit or even bring down the distance that is covered, Mr. Speaker, to get this very rare commodity, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I had him talk about agriculture, Mr. Speaker, and I'm the chair of agriculture, Mr. Speaker. I want to assure you, Mr. Speaker, that with this submission and with our programs as a committee, Mr. Speaker, we are going to deliver in matters agriculture, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we know agriculture is the backbone of our county, of our great county, Mr. Speaker. And getting from him, Mr. Speaker, I know we have a man here that will help us achieve whatever we want to do, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what I failed to hear from him, and maybe the appointment committee never puts a question on the same, is about the unutilized water that is flowing down and Kerio River, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, that is a place that going forward, we need to put a lot of efforts and put a lot of resources so that you can utilize the lower valley, the lower side of the Kerio Valley, because, Mr. Speaker, we are having a very fertile land and unutilized one for that matter, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I heard him talk about health and talk about health extensively, Mr. Speaker. We are having big challenges and great challenges, Mr. Speaker, in health and other departments, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with our interaction, just when we came in, we've seen a lot of challenges in our departments, Mr. Speaker, ranging from conflict of interest to absenteeism to non-commitment from the members of the staff, Mr. Speaker, from the executive, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the coming in of the Deputy Governor, Mr. Speaker, we believe that will help cure or even arrest these matters that we are, from onset, we are getting, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to support the nomination of this nominee, one Felix Mayo, and say, Mr. Speaker, for the record and for that matter, Mr. Speaker, that I feel like we are the best deputy governor, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I want to stop at that and support this motion. I don't want to go the way Honorable Longiso said. I don't want to say that we stop from there, and I don't want to say that. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Alex, you are the chair of Agriculture Committee. In a few weeks' time, you will get an opportunity to fight the nominee for chief officer. I hope you will prepare your questions with regard to what you are talking about going down to Kerio River, and that will be your first question for that nominee. Honorable Jacob Cheboyo.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. First of all, I want to thank you for the vetting that you did to Honorable Felix Mayo. I want also to thank the Committee on Appointment for good
this county. He needs a very good DG. And we are lucky to have this young man. I saw him answer questions. The humility in him, the civility, the eloquence, the competence, everything shows us this guy or this honorable member is ready to do the tasks of a deputy governor. By his age, being a youth, I'm very proud that if we pass this one Felix, he will sort the issues of our youth. The youth, the generation, this generation of the youth today, if we cannot have a good leader, we'll waste or we are losing generations because we don't have youths. We don't have youths on employment. We need to do a lot, especially on the issues of youth, when it comes to issues of empowerment and all that. So the one Felix to me is the best nominee when it comes to the issue of deputy governor. So I rise to support and say that we pass this motion. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, as you are all aware, the proper dress code of this house, and I want to thank Honorable Ngotier for bringing the attention of the Speaker that there was a member who was inappropriately dressed. The Sergeant at Arms has acted on the same, and all members who are inappropriately dressed have been removed from these chambers. And if there are any other, kindly walk out by your on your own motion before the Sergeant at Arms comes to you. Honorable Tarus.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute to this motion. First of all, I support the motion, and secondly, wish to commend the committee, which you chair, for a splendid job that you have done in vetting this nominee. And Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Charuta Kiptala, kindly maintain silence or consult in low tones. Let's hear Honorable Tarus in silence.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Notwithstanding the qualifications of the Deputy Governor, which to me is he has the best qualifications, and of course, the requisite experience to have that position of the Deputy Governor. And Mr. Speaker, my personal experience with this Deputy Governor is that he is one person who is precise in his activities or in his duties, because I've ever interacted with him while he was working in my ward, and this is a very experienced person in the engineering field, and he has what it takes to be the Deputy Governor in this county, Mr. Speaker. And of course, apart from the knowledge that he has, I want to believe that with his managerial skills, because he has from the list of activities that he has undertaken or jobs that he has done, he has a lot of professionalism, and I want to believe that he will steer with this county as the principal assistant to the governor. So, Mr. Speaker, I want to urge this honorable house, having such a youthful and a strong deputy governor, we will be able, so long as we support him, because you know there are at times you may have the best person, but without the support and without the necessary assistance, he may not be able to offer the services as required. So, Mr. Speaker, I urge this honorable house to pass this motion, and we have him as our deputy governor. I know he has what it takes to be the deputy CEO of this county. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, we have almost come to conclusion of the debate, but allow me to give the last set of contributions, starting with Honorable Ngotier, then Honorable Solomon, so the Sam Locales, then we'll come for another set.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. And I want to apologize for what happened previously. Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm wrapping up with my contribution concerning Felix. And Mr. Speaker, sir, questions on insecurity, health, tourism, and ECD were well answered by Felix. And I feel actually is fit to be our deputy governor. Only, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to reiterate what Honorable Cheboiwo was saying concerning what happens to deputy governors. I think we've started dancing before the real party, because immediately when he's appointed after some times, and I urge, it's good that the liaison officer is here, that after he's sworn in, we'll see a lot of drama, not that I'm a prophet of doom, concerning the duties that he is going to be given. I want to put it clear on record that we are going to watch very closely on how the governor is going to give duties to the deputy governor. He is a very young man. We don't want him to sit there only in the office and no duties. We don't want that office to be an office of lamentation, that when you meet the deputy speaker, the deputy governor, he will always saying that how frustrated he is in that office. We want to see that he is allocated finance or a budget, so that he can operate properly and also build himself for future and for future to be a leader in future. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to put it rightly, and this to be reported that we are watching on how the governor is going to treat this young man who is our next deputy governor. Mr. Speaker, sir, I have just a small about this committee that they wrote in the introduction, self-introduction, that he is married to one wife and put only. We should not demonize those some of us who are married to more than one wife. Recently, Mr. Speaker,
What's your point of order, Honorable Kimaso?
I don't need any information at the moment. Just because of time. That you are aware, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Matia, I was a member of this committee, and allow me to defend the committee. This an extract. This is an extract of what the member said. The same was captured in the answered, and what the committee has simply done is to cut an extract of the answered. So when you see the member say, when you read that he's only married to one wife, only one wife, those are the words that came from the nominee. Those are not the words of the committee. It's what was captured in the answered. So don't condemn the committee, because the committee only lifted what the answered is recorded. Proceed, Honorable Ngotia.
Okay, if that is from his mouth, maybe when I have a chat with him, I will correct there. You are aware, Mr. Speaker, sir, even at the moment, NHIF, they have allowed that you can now have, you can cover more than two wives. And I think even in our, you should consider something when we are talking about our insurance. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Ngotia, when you started, you said you are an elder. So I want to ask you that you take the same words of wisdom to the DG. Honorable Sam Limo.
Mr. Speaker, I'm used to standing in this other side, Mr. Speaker. And I wish also you consider, Mr. Speaker, having two microphones rather than people passing through the mess, Mr. Speaker, which is expensive and very delicate. If handled, Mr. Speaker, the sessions may end. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, allow me to proceed. Mr. Speaker, I rise to be very clear that I support this nominee, Mr. Speaker, for the position of DG. Mr. Speaker, I was following live when you were chairing the committee of appointments. And Mr. Speaker, the committee looks very, very fast and qualified. They were asking questions, Mr. Speaker, that I was thinking the nominee may, on the way, get worried, including, Mr. Speaker, the questions by Honorable Kimaso, Mr. Speaker, who was asking several questions. I don't know, he had how many questions, Mr. Speaker. But all in all, Mr. Speaker, the nominee proved to be very competent. This is a young man who is competent.
The appointment and approval of DG today, Mr. Speaker, is hope for the young generation in Baringo County. And not only in Baringo County, Mr. Speaker, but in Kenya at large, Mr. Speaker. The democracy has finally found its way to the young generation. We were hearing, Mr. Speaker, previously the Kibaki regime, we were told the youth will be given opportunities, and you find in appointments to cabinet of Kibaki, Mudi Awori was in front. You came to the appointments of Uhuru Kenyatta, he tried a little, but still we had a lot of elders. Now, to this county, Mr. Speaker, last week, I was reading from the newspaper the nominees for the positions of CECs. And I have come to say, Cheboy with his old age, I don't know, 70-something or 60-something, he has wisdom. This is an elder with wisdom. The nominees of CECs, I saw young men there. Now this one for DG, this is a young man. And Mr. Speaker is not only young man, but qualified young man. Young men may want to be given opportunities to serve in different positions, Mr. Speaker, but the vehicle that will take you to that position is going to the purpose. How have you studied? What do you have? This is a guy who studied in a very remote school. I was reading from his CV. He came to Sacho. He went to JKUAT. And Mr. Speaker, he exhibited exemplary kind of performance. He performed very well, B+ in high school, went to university, 2nd class, upper division. He went for masters. This is a guy who is knowledgeable. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, we cannot, as a house, we cannot reject this young man. We must endorse him. And today, Mr. Speaker, I urge your members also that we pass this motion and we see the nominee being sworn in tomorrow to the office of the DG. And Mr. Speaker, we will have done well to our people and young men. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, I saw this a young man who has knowledge on gas.
Because of time, I restricted you to 2 minutes, and you have already spent your 2 minutes.
Kindly, 1 minute, sir. 1 minute, so that I conclude. He has done on gas and petroleum, Mr. Speaker, and engineering, mechatronic engineering, Mr. Speaker. I also want to advise the office of the governor. If possible, we take from lands the issue of minerals and gas and give him a position of CEC to be in charge of issues of minerals, gas, and petroleum within our county. And that, Mr. Speaker, will give him opportunity to explore further on his skills as an engineer, Mr. Speaker. And finally, Mr. Speaker, this is a man we are watching. He may be the third governor of Baringo. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Miriam Katurkana for the point of information, followed by Clement Lomaringoria.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
What's your information?
My information, Mr. Speaker, is about the mechatronic engineering that the Deputy Governor, who is going to be nominated today, Mr. Speaker, underwent. It is that, Mr. Speaker, I was expecting Honorable Locales to applaud that because of the minerals in Tiati, Mr. Speaker. The minerals in Tiati, that is the diatomite, Mr. Speaker. The people in Tiati will be beneficiaries. So far, the youth, Mr. Speaker, will get employed, and that is the information, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Miriam Katurkana.
Yes.
Who needs that information?
Honorable Locales.
Honorable Miriam, I'm warning you. Don't use the back door to debate. Can you assume your seat?
I saw that I will not get that chance of coming.
I'm giving you last one. I'm giving you last one.
Mr.
Kindly assume your seat. Assume
Thank
your
you,
seat.
Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Clement.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I have arisen to give my input. Mr. Speaker, first I want to congratulate the nominee, which to me, when I peruse the documents, tells me that this is an energetic man. And Mr. Speaker, I want to ask this House that our Baringo County requires somebody that will bring us together. Mr. Speaker, we have resources which is untapped in this county. We have the GDC, which is already operating in Tiati. We have diatomite in Tiati and part of Baringo North. We have the rupees from Baringo South. Mr. Speaker, the county itself have not utilized or have not worked closely with those or have not seen the need to explore these resources in our county. In this case, Mr. Speaker, we will want an energetic man that will tap these resources to be of benefit to the entire Baringo County. That to me says that we need a DG or a deputy speaker who has a big eye. Sorry, deputy governor, I withdraw. We need a deputy governor that work closely with the governor to ensure that these resources which are given by or which is in our land are utilized. I only have one problem with the committee on appointment where I'm seeing some contradiction. The committee have said in the part C, which they say employment records, the nominee have been mentioned that in September 2017 to date, the nominee has been working in a company called Target Limited, which is dealing with business development and manager and technical director. But Mr. Speaker, when you go on the records of the vetting of the nominee, the committee mentioned in part G, self-introduction part G, have said in 2017, he began managing the family company up to date. Now, my question to the committee, whether did you do a thorough job or you were just given a voluminous papers that attracted your eyes and you just went through? Because there is a lot of contradictions, Mr. Speaker, sir. September 2017 to date, he was working in a company called Target East Africa Limited. In his self-introduction, he mentioned on issue, self-introduction part G, in 2017, he began managing the family company up to date. My worry is, was he fired?
So, Honorable Kibet, you don't want to answer Honorable Lomaringoria. I expect the mover, when you will be replying, to respond to that one. Because of time, when the mover will be responding, when he will be replying, he will respond to that issue.
I need the information, but now I wanted the committee to be clear in paperwork, because you cannot just convince me or convince the House, because we don't know which company is Target East Africa Limited.
What point of information, Honorable?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I think the honorable member needs this information because Target is actually the family business. So you will continue talking about maligning the committee, Mr. Speaker, so that, I read how he was trying to frame it. He did not even ask us that what is this Target? Is it the family? Simple, common knowledge. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Honorable Lomaringoria, kindly wind up. You have been given the information.
I've been given the information and I needed that information, but for clarity, we may not, let's not assume, because we are given papers that we have to peruse.
Kindly wind up, kindly wind up.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think I've winded. Thank you.
Honorable Kipng, aka Mtetesi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the opportunity. And for the onset, I want to say I support this motion. And first is to register my sincere gratitude to the governor from the people of Tenges. The deputy governor comes from my ward and from my village, Imum. And I want to say that Mr. Speaker, particularly from the members. And
proceed, Honorable Kipng.
Thank you. And I want to say that to the governor, the people of Tenges, we are so grateful that he kept his word. That it's not all people who can stand with your family after your demise. Mr. Speaker, today we say the governor is a gentleman. He has shown us a part we didn't know and personally I didn't expect, but from now on forth, I'll say thank you. Again, it's thank the committee for a well done job. And I want to ask this House that we approve this motion and support this gentleman. Not only because he comes from a place, but because he qualifies for Speaker. This is a man who is hands-on. This is a man whom he has worked on this company now that he has been doing drilling. And this is a man who understands issue of water, which Baringo County, Mr. Speaker, has a problem on water, Mr. Speaker. Especially where I come from, Mr. Speaker, we have an issue. Water is a real challenge, and we believe now that we will have a deputy governor, Mr. Speaker, our problems will be solved, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the office of the deputy speaker, Mr. Speaker, deputy governor, Speaker, handles a disaster. And we believe, with the DG now, we believe the disaster sector in this county will be handled well, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, recently I almost lost a mother at Mogorwa Health Center, Mr. Speaker, after delivery, Mr. Speaker, because of postpartum hemorrhage, Mr. Speaker. That there was no ambulance, there was nobody. That, and we have no number to call, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, this House, Mr. Speaker, we must stand firm, and we make sure we have a number that the health centers in the far-flung areas, Mr. Speaker, can call, Mr. Speaker. We cannot be calling someone's number, Mr. Speaker. That we have to call a matron who is at home, Mr. Speaker, so that we can help our people in the village. We need to have a call center that handles all emergencies, especially the health sector, Mr. Speaker. We cannot keep on losing lives, Mr. Speaker. We believe that the governor's office will support the DG's office, Mr. Speaker, as members have said, and we will stand firm. We will all be keenly watching, as members have said, and we want to see that office active, funded, and working well, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we saw how the late DT worked, Mr. Speaker. I'm not sure members.
Wind up, Honorable Kipng.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. I'll ask for more time, Mr. Speaker, because the member of the Speaker comes from my place, Mr. Speaker, and I have to, Mr. Speaker, but I'm finishing, Mr. Speaker. That a airport doesn't fall far from the trees, Mr. Speaker. That the DT, Mr. Speaker, was a man we could all associate with, Mr. Speaker. Majority of us here, Mr. Speaker, could go to his office, he could call us. He was a man of the people, Mr. Speaker. And we believe the DG, Mr. Speaker, also is of the same character, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, on other items, Mr. Speaker, this is a man who has been in this sector, Mr. Speaker. And in Baringo, we believe coffee now, that is our main goal here, Mr. Speaker, will have support and farmers will get benefit, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, handing, Mr. Speaker, which the governor spoke recently, Mr. Speaker, which is a goal for this county, Mr. Speaker. We believe that this time around we will have, Mr. Speaker, recently you had the Speaker, the governor, that is a businessman who is earning over 20 million, Mr. Speaker, because of earning from Baringo. Mr. Speaker, this county must run away with that goal, Mr. Speaker. We must help our farmers, Mr. Speaker, that we must have a factory for earning here in Baringo. In the nation, Mr. Speaker, we cannot have a product a honey product that we can say is genuine. But if Baringo brings its own honey from the county, it will be genuine, it will be accepted, and it can go international, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a second, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, a second, Mr. Speaker. I want to ask these members that Felix Mayo is a man that tomorrow we can all reach the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, members have been complaining to the Speaker. We have not been able to reach the governor because, let's say, because of the work he has been, but we believe now, when we have now the DG, we'll be able to reach him, and we hope that our issues will be handled to the Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I heard this house that we support, and this is a man we all know. This is a youth, Mr. Speaker, that the future is youth, and this is a man whom all of us, especially in this house, Mr. Speaker, majority are the youth, and I believe the future is here, and him is our future as Baringo. Mr. Speaker, I thank you.
Honorable Lina. Sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for catching my eye.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm not going to take my time reading the mood of the House, Mr. Speaker. I just want to say this Akai, I've interacted, I've seen him, and he's the best guy, Mr. Speaker. So we approve this motion, and we... And reading the mood, Mr. Speaker, we want this guy to come to this county, the Honorable Felix. Mr. Speaker, he's a youthful guy. Sorry, he's a youthful honorable member. He has studied. He has all the qualification, Mr. Speaker, to say he fits the office of the Deputy Governor. We need to roll out. We need to serve this county, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I support the motion that the gentleman to be our deputy governor. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, let's take 1 minute each. Honorable Simon Kiplakat, MCA Kabartonja Ward, then Honorable Robert Kiplakat, nominated.
Yes.
A minute each.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for seeing my hand. Mr. Speaker, I stand here to support this motion of appointing the Deputy Governor, Felix Kipng. Felix Kipng, who is my namesake, to be our Deputy Governor of Baringo County. I've seen his CV, this gentleman, His Excellency, the Deputy Governor is overqualified, and I thank the appointment committees for seeing the qualification, not where the person comes from. And I request, as we move, let us be appointing people in terms of qualification and positions, not about where somebody comes, so that some regions cannot be blamed for having many people in the county. You know, some of us have become victims because we have some people who are qualified to be some people in this county. So next time, let us be electing people. We appoint speakers on merit, not about the
who have done this job. Indeed, all of them were out of the assembly and we lack quorum. I want to congratulate you, leadership, for the job well done. Honorable Speaker, I want also to thank the governor for listening to the people. When Honorable Cherombor, whose wisdom in this house that we want a liaison officer, without following up with the governor, we already have Honorable Kublimo here. That is one qualification that our governor listens. Secondly, when we quote the words of Anwai Guru during the burial of our deputy governor, Anwai Guru said wisdom is in the market. And he told the governor that the market is here. And indeed, governor has followed to that and appointed the young man, gentleman, to be the deputy governor. Thirdly, Deputy Speaker, we have as a country and as a society norms and values that we have been living with as a republic. And when we study what has been happening in Kenya, governor has followed those footsteps. We saw during the passing on of Mutula Kilonzo Jr., people of Makueni, Senior. Sorry for that. The passing on of Mutula Kilonzo Jr., the people, Senior, sorry members. And I think sorry for that. Mutula Kilonzo Senior. Honorable Robert, you realize that you're confusing yourself because you're not speaking to the speaker.
I'm looking at you, Honorable Speaker. Sorry for that. I will be speaking to you. Honorable Speaker, when we lost Mutula Kilonzo Senior, the people of Makueni appointed Mutula Kilonzo Jr. And they have promoted a career, 2-term senator, and now a governor. When we go to Bomet, when we lost Lona Laboso, they appointed Joyce Laposo, who went ahead to become a governor. We see in Mombasa, Ahmed Nasir succeeding his father. Now we have a governor in Mombasa. We saw in Ainamoi, Honorable To, who passed on during a shooting incident in Eldoret, and they nominated Benjamin Lagat, who is now a third member of parliament. And the list is long. What the governor has done has followed our social norms as a nation, how we conduct ourselves and how we stay. I want to encourage the young man, because this will go to the Hansard, to follow the footsteps of his father. His father was a product of President Moi. He served President Moi. His father, because he was highly persecuted, I campaigned with the father and governor. And many people were accusing us that we have elected 2 old people. And deputy governor was very consultative. He used to call me between 10 and 12 at night. Robert, what do we do about this? And at some point he told me, Honorable Speaker, that young people, don't worry, leadership will come to you. And when I had been proposed and nominated by the governor to be in this house, he followed through. And the last day, the second last day for his passing, he called me and says, Robert, you have seen, you have gotten leadership. And he passed on the second day. Now, indeed, it is unfortunate that we lost him, but we have his son, a young person, as deputy governor, which is a good thing in this house, Honorable Speaker. I wish him well. This is a son to us in the family of politicians. Every politician wants to live forever, and the only way you live forever is having your children succeed what you have been doing. This is also political, biblical, Honorable Speaker. When King David passed on,
let me wind up.
When King David passed on, he was succeeded by King Solomon, and he was the wisest king. So we hope that Honorable, this deputy governor will be able to listen, to follow the footsteps of his father, and to help our county succeed. I want to wind that way, and because we have talked about the dress code, Honorable Speaker, I want to congratulate my mother here. She's calling me a son. And indeed, if my father had met her, I would be the real son.
Honorable Robert Kipng, you're out of order.
She's well dressed.
Honorable Robert
all the ladies.
Thank you. Honorable Flat, you're out of order. What's it, Honorable Clement Lomaringoria?
Mr. Speaker, sir, I heard the honorable member speaking or talking about liaison person to this honorable house. He mentioned that the governor have seeked to have a liaison officer. I'm not aware of that, and I wish to be
honorable.
Yes, I will see it in order. Thanks.
Honorable Engineer Telian, the floor is yours, then followed by Deputy Minority Whip and the mover to respond.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute to this motion. From the onset, Mr. Speaker, allow me to say that I support this motion, and together with the people of Bartabwa, who are very excited about this. And the reason why they are excited is because this is somebody who knows about something about insecurity, which has really affected us. And I have seen that they mentioned in the report of the committee. This is somebody who knows about the pain of going to look for water. And he has mentioned, he said, one of his commitment, one of his achievement is to see people accessing water. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the people of Baringo, being an ASAL county, most part of Baringo is ASAL, needs water. The people of Tiati would need water. The women of Tiati, the women of Ravine, Tenkes, where the Honorable Felix is coming from, are people who are faced with challenges of water. Mr. Speaker, this is somebody who is a colleague to me, he's an engineer. And I know for sure that we are now getting the right person for this job. I'm not saying the deputy, the late, was not the right person. But we thank God because he has given us an opportunity to have somebody who thinks that we need to explore the minerals that are in Baringo. The rubies in Mochongoi, the diatomite in Baringo North and Tiati. Mr. Speaker, he worked in Talo. And most parts of Parwesa, where the Honorable Deputy Majority comes from, is an area where Talo did an exploration for oil. And it seems like there is some promising prospects. Mr. Speaker, if we have this person coming in as our deputy governor, we will go far. I want to second what Honorable, I don't know whether, yes, Localis said, that this could be the right person to be CEC for, was it petroleum, mineral and something? Yes. So that we can explore and have our people getting opportunities in those. I beg to support, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Honorable Purity Talam.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, I want to support the motion, and being the last person to contribute, mine will be just a few. Starting with, I want to first congratulate the appointment committee. Mr. Speaker, you as being the chair, you did us proud as the assembly, and you have done a good job. To Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate our His Excellency the Governor for honoring the pledges. I was privileged, Mr. Speaker, to have been in the burial of the late Deputy Governor. And there were so many voices there, which of course everybody had, of mentioning their son being the Deputy Governor. And I want to quote what the grandmother said. Lagochu, ogona ogo tatebeyo kidogo. I want to quote.
Honorable Purity Talam.
I was quoting
Honorable
Mr. Speaker, sir. I was just quoting.
Then in that case, kindly give a translation of the same.
Yes, I was going to translate. The grandmother said he was pleading to the governor, saying that the position should remain in the family, meaning that even can be given even a few days or to be in that office. The grandmother was saying that. So I want to congratulate the governor because everybody who was there in the burial, the dignitaries, everybody stood and said the governor should consider by giving the son of the late deputy governor. So I want to applaud the governor and say, may he be blessed by God because of what he has done. And being me as a mother, I want to say the DG, Mr. Honorable Felix, is a young man, and I know he will articulate his duty, and he will be maybe a governor in the coming future. So I want to say thank you very much, and I will support the motion. Thank you.
Honorable Majority Leader, or do you want to donate some of your time to your deputy?
No, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, reading the mood of these guys, Mr. Speaker, most of them want to go to the public participation. First and foremost, Mr. Speaker, I'd like to thank the members of this third assembly, Mr. Speaker, for ventilating the report and reading it thoroughly, Mr. Speaker. I've heard most of them comment on the deep issues inside the report, Mr. Speaker, and this shows that, Mr. Speaker, these members are knowledgeable, Mr. Speaker, and very aggressive, and William Samoei Ruto, Mr. Speaker. So we are not promoting dynasties, but we saw that it was good for Felix to be the DG because he is knowledgeable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, personally, he impressed me so much when he talked on the issue rollover, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Felix had a lot of knowledge on rollover, Mr. Speaker, of which most of us, as members of the Second Assembly, Mr. Speaker, thought a rollover was an animal, Mr. Speaker. But Mr. Felix, at this time, can tell you on how to eradicate rollover, Mr. Speaker, meaning that he did a lot of research and is knowledgeable on how to take this county a notch higher, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, I know most of these members, the issue of CIDP is on place, is all over the world, and this issue of CIDP, Mr. Speaker, is a very important document since it's a 5-year term document, Mr. Speaker, and if an elected member does not participate, his manifesto or his wishes may not be put in the CIDB, Mr. Speaker. And I've seen most of them want to go to the ground to listen on how or what projects their voters would wish to be added in the list, Mr. Speaker. And warn them, especially the first-time members, that if any project is not captured in the CIDP, it will never be reintroduced in the ADB, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And reading the mood of this House, Mr. Speaker, put the question, Mr. Speaker, and these members will do the necessary. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
The motion having been debated and the move having replied to the same, I now move to the next point, which is to put the question. Honorable members, I now put the question that, recognizing that the Committee of Appointments is established pursuant to Standing Order 190, which provides for its mandates to include vetting of proposed nominee for position of County Deputy Governor as per the provisions of Section 9(1) of Public Appointments, County Assembly's Approval Act 2017, aware that the Governor, Honorable Benjamin Cheboy, by the letter dated 13th October 2022, forwarded to the Speaker the name of Mr. Felix Kipng Mayo for vetting by the Select Committee on appointments and subsequent consideration for approval by the County Assembly as per Section 32D of the County Government Amendment Act of 2020. Subsequently, upon commitment to the Committee on Appointments, the nominee appeared before the committee on 24th October 2022 at 2:30 p.m. at the Kenya School of Government and was vetted on his suitability for appointment to position of Deputy Governor, Baringo County. Appreciative of the requirements of nomination as Deputy Governor as provided for in Article 180 of the Constitution of Kenya, 2010, Section 32C and Section 32D of the County Government Amendment Act of 2020, as read together with Section 7 of the Public Appointments County Assemblies Approval Act. Now, therefore, in view of the foregoing, this motion urges the County Assembly of Baringo to consider and adopt the report of the Committee on Appointments approving Mr. Felix Kipng Mayo as the duly approved Deputy Governor of Baringo County upon successful vetting process. Will as many as of the same opinion say aye? And will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. Other members? This marks the end of the special sitting. The Assembly shall proceed as per the normal calendar, which has been published and gazetted.